feelings was hurt this past weekend when y'all came to the realization that a lot, in fact, most Black celebrities are MAGA. And they're MAGA and they're also anti-Black. Let's dig into the MAGA part first. Most people, and this is something that we've all been having conversations about, but the conversations have been incomplete, want generational wealth. They want to be able to pass on wealth to their children. That's what we've all been talking about for decades and decades and decades. That is an incomplete conversation because generational wealth is based on exploiting an exploitative tax code. And what happens is these celebrities, they get an accountant, and the accountant says to them, if you vote for Kamala, this is how much you're going to pay in taxes. If you vote for Felon 47, this is how much you're going to pay in taxes, right? And that difference is telling you everything you need to know about who that person is. And you all need to accept that a lot of Black people, a lot of women, a lot of Black immigrants, a lot of Latinos, a lot of them are Republican because they want that margin. They want that money in that margin, and they don't care. They don't care about what happens to anybody that is not in their immediate family.
That type of soft bed to lie on, we make those types of we launder things intellectually for powerful white men. We do. Like, he can't be that bad. Look at him. He can't be that bad. He's one of us. He's with us. He does all of this stuff. And it's just not something that's ever done with anyone that we're trying to do it for Nick Cannon right now. Mm-hmm. We're trying to speak in love about Nick Cannon because I know that Nick Cannon is a good dude. And so I'm trying to do for him what oftentimes is not done for Black men. What didn't get done for Nick Cannon a couple of years ago when he got up and got in trouble. He talks about that.
He alludes to it. He doesn't get into it.
He talks like when he got up and got in trouble. What people didn't do was go, you know what? This is a guy that might have some wrong information, might have said something that he didn't really understand the ramifications of. Let's look at the totality of him and figure out how we can get over this. No, what actually happened was all of that. What we need from you now is a complete crawfishing from all the stuff that you said, which was wrong, and an assurance that you understand how dangerous it is. A lot of people got on his ass for that. I didn't get on his ass for it at all. And the reason why I didn't is because if you care about people, that is what you should do. Mm-hmm. But people like Donald Trump never have to do that. Mm-mm. There is no accountability that goes into the things that they've done. Like, Donald Trump is the greatest businessman in the entire world. So many different companies have gone bankrupt. His reputation just defies logic. He's the smartest guy that says the dumbest things. He's the best businessman that goes incredibly bankrupt.
They're mad at Nick Cannon, and I salute you, Nick Cannon. Wherever you are, Nick Cannon, I hope you have this. I stand with you, Nick Cannon, because you told nothing but the truth. Amber Rose, I stand with you because y'all told nothing but the truth. See, Black people want to act like the Democratic Party is for them. They want to act like the Republican Party. They want to erase the history of the Republican Party. And then when the KKK was in it, we had real power in America. It was the Southern Democrats that fought against it. And Lyndon B. Johnson, who they worship, said, I will have these Black people voting Democrat for 100 years. And 100 years later, the Black population still 80%, 90% of the time votes Democrat. They vote Democrat no matter, even though they are the party of communism. They're the party of that pushes abortion on the Black community. We have murdered 50, 60% of our children. We have been 13% of the population for a very long time. The truth is that everything Nick Cannon said about the Democratic Party is true, and that's why they're angry about it. They don't want Black people to wake up and realize that everything that the Democratic Party stand for is bad for our communities.
Stephen is the freest slave in the history of cinema. He has all the powers of the master and literally is the master during the times when Calvin is off Mandingo fighting. He makes the plantation run. Everybody on that plantation knows him. Everybody on the plantation fears him. And I wanted everybody to understand that when Django shows up, that's a we've never seen before. Not only is he on a horse, he got a gun and he speaks out. And the first thing I have to do is let all the other on the plantation know that's not something you can aspire to. So let me put him in his place as quickly as I possibly can.
We as Christians have all of this material out here to tell us what side and what each side believes and what each side thinks. It is amazing to me that we allow people to talk to us as if they're making sense when they're not, and we allow them to project on us what they really are and get away with it. Here's my concern about what you saw. You saw two views. You saw those who understood what was going on and proclaimed it, and you saw those who were trying to intellectualize their foolish arguments against what we were saying. And the first sister that came on, you saw how confident she was. You saw how she tried to use statistics and ratings and all this stuff, to make it sound like she was making sense. People fall for that. They literally do fall for that. So I'm grateful that you put them both together, and the material is out there. I was looking at a video yesterday, and one of the commentators was talking about how people who want to believe something, they don't care whether it's true or not, and they'll find videos that substantiate what they want people to hear and believe, and they'll promote it. They don't care if it's true or not. And so people that are watching on social media, we have to understand the kind of material that we're looking at. We have to do our own homework to recognize whether or not that information is actual, factual, or whether we're just watching it and passing it on because we agree with it. Passing something on because you agree with it is not doing anybody a service. If it's not true, we shouldn't be passing on, and you will be held accountable for what you pass on to somebody else. So those clips together was very brilliant, Brother Wise. You got to hear both sides. And if you can't tell who's stupid and who's not, then that's on you.
My thoughts are two things stuck out to me. First of all, what she said about the tax bracket was so unnecessarily generalized and incredibly wrong in a lot of different cases. So if you just say who was better for taxes for the top 1%, I can point out that since 2000, just better has been Republican across the board. She's right. But it's also for the top 25%, for the top 50%. Like, what are we saying better actually is? And as far as investments go, for someone who is in the ultra rich category, which, by the way, most Hollywood actors are not, right? I think we look at the top 25 actors, and we assume they all get paid millions and millions of dollars. This is not the case. So I think the logic is very, very off in that situation, and it's ignoring other kinds of investments, it's ignoring capital gains and everything else in between. But it was the capitulation that's expected. That gentleman was talking. He had Trump out there, and he had Nick Cannon on the other side. Yep. Did you hear what he said? He said the expectation is that Nick Cannon comes out and says that he was wrong, and assurances so that they believe them. That is so impressive that if someone ever said that to me, I would go out of my way not to do that because you're trying to tell me how you want me to behave to make you comfortable. So ignore the fact that this is my truth. Ignore the fact that this is my belief, because you as a populace say that I am wrong. You're not going to talk to me about it. You're just going to say, come bend the knee again. And we see this happen. Stephen A. Smith is known notoriously for doing this. There has to be that capitulation. And this crabs in the barrel mentality is exactly the issue that we see amongst the Black community in the United States of America and amongst, honestly, Americans as a whole when it comes to the Democratic Party. If you step out of line, the behaviors are different. So ask yourself, you ever see somebody who leaves the Republican Party and becomes a Democrat? I know it's rare. But if you ever see it, someone comes up to you, hey, Crystal, I think about not being a Republican anymore. I'm not good with Trump. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm hoping that Kamala runs again. I'm going to vote for her. Is Crystal going to say, oh, you horrible individual, how dare you? You're hateful and you're awful. She's probably going to ask why. But if the other way around, I've seen how they talk to Crystal for leaving the party. It is hateful. It is this tribal mentality, and it shows us that you identify with your party more than you even identify with being an American at this point in time. Because we are fellow citizens. So please don't talk to me about your faith and everything in between. I'll throw away, I'm not even Republican, I'll throw away all political everything in a heartbeat if it means that you can eat at my table and you can be fed. But I don't feel like you're willing to do the same if it means I have to come in and we can't talk about how this horrible conservative is at my table.
Last clip. Shout out to Wifey. She's the one that showcased that. She showed that to me because a lot of people that have watched the movie Django, I don't think they knew or understood that Stephen was free. Stephen was a free man. Most people didn't know that. Most people, this is probably the first time in your life that you heard like, oh, that dude was free.
He was there by will. He will do
exactly. He was, and he was second in command.
That's right.
And his job was to keep these Black folks on the plantation.
That's right.
And the thing that he said, he was like, here it is. You got this guy. He rolls up, he on a horse, and he has two guns, and he's speaking out.
Can't have that.
My job is to let the rest of these fools know that that is not something that you can aspire to.
Mhm.
Doesn't that sound like the Boulay crowd? Doesn't
Come
that
on.
sound like Roland
Come
Martin,
on.
Angela
Come
Rye,
on.
Tiffany Cross,
You can't make it on your
Don
own.
Lemon,
Yep.
Bakari Sellers? Doesn't
Yep.
it sound like, hey, we can't allow these people to believe that they are free and that they can operate in their own autonomy?
Can't do it.
We can't allow it. So anytime somebody that is supposed to be a part of that steps out of line, it's their job to whip your behind back
Come on.
on that
That's
plantation.
what's happening.
Yep. 100%.
Excellent.
Because you can
Excellent.
see it happening. This is what was happening on the plantations 207 odd years ago. And you get black folks out there talking about, man, we worked for free for 200 years, not understanding that you still got people operating in the same manner as Stephen.
Yep.
You've been free for a long time. You just didn't know it.
Yep.
They didn't want you to know it.
Well, I just want to say RIP to my father, who always said they took the shackles off your feet and put them on your mind. And that's
Shout out to
exactly
Dad.
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're seeing happening here. Since we are talking about the Black community, great, let's go ahead. I would like to know why nobody had any counsel for Nick Cannon while he was fathering 10 or more children and creating 10 or more different households where he could not do and create family and could not appropriately act as a father. And this is no meanness to Nick Cannon, because I actually appreciate him, because even in all of his wrong, he is somebody who has been publicly seeking and looking. He has been for years in conversation, trying to get wisdom and trying to get information. And like I said, the Black community had nothing to offer him and to his children, to his spawn, to explain to him why it would be important to be in a household so that you could teach your children how to confront the environment with the unique genetic code that you have given them. They had no information for him for that. Yet he has come out and said something about the Democrats, and they have an entire plan ready to go for what they're going to need, how they're going to approach him, what they need him to do in response to that approach. The script is out. Everybody is on track. But what this is saying, they are ready. They don't have any question. They know what they're going to do if somebody's leaving the plantation. Now, if you fathering people all over the plantation, they have no clue what to tell you. But what this is showing us is what's really happening in the Black community. Not only Nick Cannon, we saw it with Chili. We saw it also this week with Salt from Salt and Pepper. And I am happy to see this. The Black community is going through a transition. That transition is being led by Black men. Thank you, Black men, for leading us out and leading us off the plantation. We are so happy to see you. And I personally am one running behind you. Can't wait to follow you to freedom. Let's go. Show me the way. Do we got to cross the water? Are we following the moon? How do we do it? Let's go. And I am appreciating that, because the Democrat Party has flat out told Black men and men in general, white men as well, that they have no use for masculinity. They have no use for manhood. They have no use for anybody who wants to be a father in a child's life. They have no use for anybody who wants to lead or support a woman. They have no use for anybody who has standards and demands for a community. They have no use for anything you have to do. And when you go, let me tell you who's angry. All these people planning to entrap you and ensnare you back on the plantation. I just want to identify for you who they are. They are Black women and they are gays, because that is who is going to be left when you go. But I want everybody in the chat to know I'm going with the men. So I'll see y'all. Thank you. I'm running behind y'all.
Listen, I'm so tired of these people coming on the Lord's internet and thinking they about to bully anybody back into any plantation. And that's literally what they were trying to do. I'm telling you, these people were big mad. on the Lord's internet because they finally realized that they have been supporting their oppressor. You should have seen the think pieces that were flying all over X, and they are just upset, and they're like, y'all don't know true history. Okay, he told part, but he didn't tell all. And everything they were saying was absolutely wrong. And they were upset because now, and I'm talking about the Boule crowd, you know, the leaders, the voices that are supposed to be leading. They were trying to put together all kinds of segments and explanations, and it's not true. And okay,
damage control.
Okay, they were part of it, but it's not that. It was crazy watching them go through this because they know that they were literally supporting their oppressor. And thank you for wifey showing that. They realized that they were receiving. They realized they realized everybody's going to see who they are. And so they were trying to clean it up real quick. It was like clean up an aisle 10 immediately. Nick Cannon just blew a gasket. We are concerned.
Yes.
I have never seen so many Black people on the internet trying to explain history.
Damage control.
This, and they all wrong. Every one of them are wrong. All of them are wrong. I was like, what are y'all doing? And they love to use their special words, you know, nuance and disenfranchisement and you know, marginalized. They pulled out all their words, you know, their buzzwords, their trigger words. Listen, I hope y'all know people are not dumb. People are over y'all foolishness because whatever y'all say makes zero sense when people actually stop giving away their ability to think critically. And they start thinking critically for themselves. And regardless of what y'all do in your little boule crowd, God will always win. And the Lord is bigger than all of y'all. And the thing that what y'all missing is the Lord is opening up a lot of eyes. That lady's yelling about tax brackets and all that other stuff in the beginning. Ma'am, it's not about tax brackets. People are just tired of supporting everything that is antithetical to Christ, or they're searching for real truth. They're searching for truth and they're finding truth no matter how you try to hide it. Roly-poly Martin got up there trying to say, well, no, it was the Southern Democrats, but listen, it was just them, but you know, they actually loved us. Yes, the same LBJ that says I'm going to have these ends with the hard R's voting for a Democratic Party for the next 200 years. That same LBJ, the same one who didn't want to do anything. That same LBJ. Listen, ain't nobody sitting on there listening to y'all because all of y'all are, you know, y'all like to tout, especially Black women, which is absolutely not true. Like to tout that they're the most educated. No, y'all are the most indoctrinated.
Y'all
are the most indoctrinated. And the thing is, regardless of what y'all want to talk about education, my wisdom from God will always trump, and I'll use that word trump, your education.
Pun intended.
Hey, not only are they, you know, they get out here, which is a lie, you know, the most educated, that's a lie. Most indoctrinated, least informed. I'll give you those two.
Highly educated and without much knowledge. They're not knowledgeable. Maybe educated.
That's a good way of wording that.
They're not very knowledgeable, which is why when you talk to them, they don't know anything.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter, just to roly-poly, it doesn't matter that it was the Southern Democrats. The Northern Democrats, who, by the way, possessed the money, never stopped them.
That part.
So they were in cahoots with the Southern Democrats because they funded them and they never stopped them
for hundreds of years.
Yeah. And we have some Democrats that I want you to go look up James Eastland, Herman Talmadge, Robert Byrd, George Wallace. Go look them all up. Those are all Democrats that never left the Democratic Party. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Biden, you know, ice cream eating, sleepy, auto pen Joe Biden spoke for Robert Byrd, supported George Wallace.
Eulogy.
He did the eulogy.
Did the eulogy. I want y'all to know that. So when y'all keep saying that they switch, y'all act like they took off the jersey, took off the Democrat jersey and put on the Republican. Like y'all, come on, y'all just sound sad trying to convince people that foolishness. As my brother Wise says, all y'all got to do is go look it up. It's in the archives, in the records. Go look it up and stop being lazy. Stop outsourcing your common sense. Y'all outsource your common sense, your critical thinking, and your ability to research to everybody else. Go do some work and stop being lazy.
You know they can't read. What are you doing?
At the funeral, at Robert Byrd's funeral, Bill Clinton, when it was his time to speak, actually said, you can't blame old Byrd for being in the Klan. Hell, back in those days, you couldn't be a Democrat unless you were in the Klan. That's a quote. Bill Clinton said that at the funeral.
What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. The link's in the description box below. Join us Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. And the Lord hit my chest, kicked death from my breath, put power in my step.